Hey everybody, 8-Bit Josh here, and welcome back to Meridian Springs. And a new DLC came out, so of course I had to add one of the new animals. And today I'm making a habitat for the new Przewalski horse, or in our case, Strider. Lately with this zoo, I've been doing animals that kind of relate to some of the machines in the Horizon series. And in that game, in both games actually, in Forbidden West 2, there's a machine called the Strider, which is basically just a horse. Aloy can actually ride it around the world and all that stuff. It's super fun. So it was just kind of perfect that with the Conservation Pack DLC that we got horses. Like I said, the Przewalski horse. I think I'm saying that right. I looked it up when I went to record my kind of overview of the Conservation Pack DLC, which I'll link up at the top if you want to watch it, if you're interested in seeing what that pack is all about. But I actually did I had to, actually for all of the animals, I had to look up how to pronounce them because I just wasn't sure. But the horse, according to the San Diego Zoo website, has 3 acceptable pronunciations. So I went with Przewalski because it's kind of the closest to the way it's spelled. So that's just how I'm going to say it. May not be pronouncing it exactly correctly, but you know what? I'm doing the best I can, and that's all you can do sometimes. But yeah, so we're actually in a new area of the zoo. Previously, we were kind of working over by like the kangaroos, and we were kind of working our way around from there. But I actually went back kind of closer to, I don't want to say front of the zoo because it's kind of a big circle. But this is actually, we're underneath the gondola ride that takes the guests from the entrance like island or plateau over into the Meridian city area. So we're right underneath, and I wanted to cover up the supports a little bit, so I just put some logs around the bottom part of them just to, I don't know, felt like it looked better that they were covered up. But I also wanted to do a little shallow water feature, like, because it's like right by the river here. So I was like, well, maybe there's like a little area where some of the water from the river has kind of gone inward to the mainland a little bit. And then I was like, I had this little carved out area I had made quite a few episodes back, because we were kind of doing like the little farmland area that's around the bottom of Meridian in the actual Horizon game. And I kind of stopped going around that direction because I didn't know what I was going to make, and this just seemed like it was kind of a big wide open area. It seemed perfect for the horses. But yeah, so that little area actually just kind of made it like a little dry riverbed, which I think turned out really cool. But yeah, so I'm adding we got all these really cool new flowers with the update, and what's really cool about it is Frontier added a new sniffing behavior for the animals. So many of the animals will actually come up to these flowers and sniff them. So that's kind of really cool. But yeah, just layering all these around, I just thought it made it look really nice. Even though we're a desert zoo, I was like, yeah, I'm going to add a bunch of greenery in here. Just decorating around the water like I like to do. Doing the cattails and the little faux rocks. Just think it makes it all look really nice. I was going to put a big old tree in there, and I was like, it doesn't really fit. I wanted this to stay mostly open. This is like kind of the less jungle area of the zoo, kind of the opposite side of the zoo from where we are now. Is definitely more overgrown and kind of jungle looking. But I'm really happy the way this turned out. I did like the little raised walkway, and again, just trying to make I did use the kind of built-in railing here for the path, but I wanted to make it look a little bit more interesting, so I added some like wood panels going all the way down it, and then I also did some wood panels on the actual floor itself. So kind of custom walkway, kind of not. Just wanted to make it look a little bit more interesting than what that path looks like. So, but yeah, I think this pretty much does it for the time lapse. So let's jump in and we'll take a look at our new Przewalski horse habitat. All right, and here we are with the completed horse habitat, and I think it turned out really good. I'm like super happy with it. Okay, so you can see here the path, the little slight elevated path we did here. Again, this is the dry riverbed, which I think turned out really good. You know, I was like, I did this little water feature here, like maybe a little bit of the water is coming into the habitat here, and you know, maybe at some point it actually kind of flowed down along this way. But I like the idea that it, you know, it kind of dried out. Maybe it's you know, maybe this is the dry season, so this not as much water is reaching down here, so it's just like a dry riverbed. I also made I've been doing this as well, making these like signs using the Australia pieces that kind of look like the machines in the Horizon series. So this is the Strider. This one was a lot harder for me to do though, because I don't know, it was just difficult to do like a horse kind of shape, but not exactly like a horse shape. I tried to make it look more like the Strider. I don't know, I might pop up like an image of the Strider so you can see. It's not great, but I think it works. I also decided to name this area Strider Alley. I don't know, that's just the name that came to my head, so I don't know, that's what we went with. Also, kind of keeping with the farm theme a little bit, I added some sunflowers over here. These are also new as part of the new DLC, the Conservation Pack DLC. Got some more over here. I figure, you know, maybe somebody in this world lives here. They come out here. I did little like stepping stones there, and yeah, so just a nice little farm area over there. Yeah, I'm really happy with how the horse habitat turned out. I also, let's see, what else did I do? I changed the color of the gondola right here, because if you remember at all, it was more of like an orange-ish kind of color, and I think I did that before we kind of had changed the theme of the zoo and decided to go with the Horizon Zero Dawn theme. So I don't know, the orange, I don't know why I went with orange. I think I was trying to go with some sort of like desert color, but I don't know, it wasn't working. So I made it more of like a sandy color, and I think it's definitely a lot better looking now. Yeah, as we zoom out, so you can kind of see like where we are in the zoo. The last few episodes we kind of been working, you know, out around this way. This is the kangaroo habitat. This is the new like restaurant we did in the last episode, and all of this here. Yeah, the grizzly bears over there inside the mountain. But yeah, I figured, you know, this was a good spot to put the horses, because it's a nice big flat area. Also, it'd be cool, I think, for the guests, as they're kind of, I mean, I guess they come in over this way, so they don't get a great view, but as they're leaving the zoo, they get a nice view, you know, looking down over the horses. The other thing I was thinking about, and I didn't think about it till after I built this habitat, is there's no way for the guests to come back around this way, because, you know, I prefer to have the guests be able to walk all the way around. So that's something we'll have to think about. You know, I could do an elevated path that kind of maybe branches off of this and goes over here, but I don't want it to go, I don't know if I want it to go over the horses, you know, especially because we already have the gondola ride. I feel like that might look a little too busy. Or could do like an underground tunnel, you know, maybe again would just branch off of that and kind of come around over here. Could maybe do, I don't know if I want to do a boat ride, but we could use the boat ride as another transportation method, maybe like off of here, and then the boat could just come over here and then that would connect it. But it would probably have to have the boat ride go all the way around the island there to come back over here, and I don't know if I want to do that because, you know, we're not going to develop anything over here. This is the edge of our zoo, so I don't know if I want the boats to go all the way around there. But yeah, and then here you can see the little viewing area for the guests here. Added these new lights. These are part of the new Conservation Pack DLC, as well as these hanging lights, which I really like these. These lights are actually, I move that away, so you have just that hanging light there, and then we have different versions of these like kind of like light cover basket things, which I think are really cool. You can see the other ones here, like a little bit smaller. Also added the there's a new, I guess you could call them guest enrichment items. There's the soundboard there, and then there's the paw prints, like see how big they are, compare it with your hands. That's brand new. The guests will actually interact with those. I don't know if only kids do it. The post mentioned that it's for the kids, but I don't know if the adults will interact with it. I actually haven't seen that yet. Yeah, I think that that's pretty much everything that's new since the last episode. Again, I also tried to do, you know, just using a null barrier, trying to make everything look a little bit more natural and like kind of open. You know, like over here, for instance, I just made my own little custom barrier there so that the horses can't get out. Same with over here. These bushes here, these are new. These are the new like fig trees. But it actually had the horses, it was saying the horses could traverse on top of them. So I was like, well, I don't want that. I put them there because I figured they wouldn't be able to. So the game was saying they could. So I just put the same barrier over here. That way the horses definitely can't get out. This little building here you might recognize. I used this over in the camel habitat. This is actually a guest viewing area, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna, it looks pretty nice. I'm gonna copy it and use it over here for the horses. So the horses have a nice little covered area, hard shelter, because they do have a hard shelter requirement. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I did add a little retaining wall here because previously this was just open. You could just see the dirt, although I did leave some of it here. I thought it looked kind of cool, like maybe, you know, the wind blows sand around and it's kind of collected up here a little bit. Thought that was a nice little touch. I might add some of the decals here, like some of these like damaged decal pieces, because I just think those add a really cool touch. Yeah, there you go, everybody. I hope that you have enjoyed this episode. Let me know your thoughts and maybe some other animal habitats you would like to see in the game. Obviously, we have a handful of new ones now since the Conservation Pack DLC came out. And if you're curious about my thoughts on that, I'll link it up in the top right. Make sure to head over and check that out to see if it's something you would like to get for yourself as well. And other than that, yeah. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. We'll see you on the next episode of Meridian Spring.